Hello and welcome to our lead climbing World Cup final tonight here in Edinburgh. We are in the historic venue, the Edinburgh International Climbing Arena, and we now have the wall set and ready in front of us. My name is Danon Markey. I am your commentator here tonight, and I am joined by Canadian athlete Alana Yip.
Hi.
Very nice to have you on the seat today. Let's have a quick look at some highlights to see what action we saw in the semi-finals. So some really surprising slips, a big turn up in the organization. With the qualification before, we expected some of those highly qualifying athletes to get into the finals, but a lot fell at this one particular movement on the route.
Yeah, the sort of jump across to the big black ball on the men's route.
Really
yeah, and
did.
lots of foot slips too on the women's route.
Yeah, surprising
Ooh,
foot
we're
slips.
seeing a
There's
lot of
one
them here.
right there, that toe popping. Vita Lucan and Lara Rigora, other famous athletes that slipped on the exact same foot. Quite
And a bunch
unfortunate.
of men that fell on the move that we just saw Colin do there. A big press.
Very, very surprising. So overall, we did not get a top of the men's route. Luca Potakar, one of the athletes that qualified relatively low, maintained the highest position on the route, and the women's had 2 tops. So let's have a look at our starting list today. This is the women's lead final list. These are the athletes that have made it through after the 2 previous rounds. From Czech Republic, Eliska Adamovska is the first athlete out. She qualified in last place, and then athletes will be coming out in reverse order of their qualification, right down to Cheon Seo, who qualified in first place, joint first place actually with Ai Mori. And here we have the men's lead final start list. Yoshiyuki Ogata, one of those athletes that fell lower down than they would have expected, but did manage to find his way into our lead final tonight. And then down the list, again, a few unexpected names. Toby Roberts, an athlete only just coming out of the youth scene. And then
Very
some
exciting
more.
for him.
Very, very exciting.
Very exciting for the crowd here too.
Yes, it is a hometown favorite. And then some more familiar faces further down the list. The 2 Americans, Colin Duffy, Jesse Grouper, and Luca Potakar, the athlete that won gold medal last week in Koper, Slovenia, qualified in first place today. So let's have one more look at our wall. The crowd is buzzing. It has been a very lively crowd so far, and now tonight is no exception. They are ready for the action. So, almost ready. You can see in the bottom corner that they have the bagpipes at the ready, the Scottish tradition. And my co-commentator tonight is actually half Scottish.
Yes, I am. I may not look like it, but I am.
And while I may sound like it, I am not. So we'll try figure it out together between us. But there, the bagpipes at the ready. So there will be a procession as the athletes are presented tonight. Some dramatic scenes in front of us, looking down at this wall. A very, very unique wall we have. All the athletes have been talking about it so far. The strange shape where more vertical at the start and then this roof kicks out at the end and gives you a challenge not quite to be expected. Here we are, the faces at the ready. Just
Peeking out, just getting another little glimpse at the route maybe.
how is it in that position when you're ready before heading out to be presented?
Well, I've never been in a World Cup lead final, but I'd imagine they're excited, maybe a little nervous. Kind of just wanting to get on the wall.
I imagine the bagpipes really throw a lot of confusion into the situation. There's only one athlete there that I can imagine has a good amount of knowledge of Scottish culture, being Toby Roberts of Great Britain. So here we have the men's athlete present tension. And something to be note of, we are here in Edinburgh, Great Britain, and as I'm sure you are aware, the nation had the sad news of the passing of Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. Because of this, we're going to be taking a moment of silence here in the arena to pay our respects.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, it is
So,
my honor and privilege
I've had that minute now. Pay our respects. These are our athletes tonight in the men's lead climbing World Cup. First up there, Mr. Yoshiyuki Ogata. Amazing boulder, has won the overall title of bouldering this season. Doing a great job converting that to lead. Down through the list, Stefan Schertz, Toby Roberts, Sascha Lehmann of Switzerland. Another athlete really starting to come into his top gear now. Masahiro Higuchi, Japan. Colin Duffy of the USA, another common face there. And Jesse Grouper, one of our favorites now. He has really shown his colors lately, getting up there in so many finals. Luka Podokar, gold medal winner from last week. It is an interesting lineup, and something we've discussed a lot about lately is the conversion from bouldering strength to lead strength. So we are getting some boulders, maybe not so many right now, but for sure Yoshiyuki Ogata, Colin Duffy are both exceptionally talented boulders, now trying to retrain for lead.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, yeah, there's a lot that can translate, obviously, between the two. This weekend seems like the routes are longer overall than they are usually. I think we saw up to 58 holds in the women's semifinals, which is quite a lot. Usually you have sort of between 35 and 40. So that definitely lends itself more to people who are specializing in lead climbing and not boulders trying to make a go of it in lead, or people who haven't trained endurance for quite as long.
Yeah, and it's been so interesting hearing the stories of the boulderers on this circuit that are also competing in lead and desperately trying to get some lead sessions in before their next competition. I did speak to a few athletes, and some of the quotes were, "I haven't done any yet," or "I've only managed to get 3 in." It is very difficult juggling these two very different disciplines, but that is the nature of the sport and the Olympic combined format that we do have ahead of us in Paris.
Yeah, and this year there was no break in between the lead season and the boulder season. We had a World Cup, Boulder World Cup in Brixton, and 2 weeks later there was a combined lead and, not a combined, but it was a lead and a Boulder World Cup in the same week. So there was no time after the boulder season to prepare for lead, so you had to sort of switch and prepare for lead before boulder was done. It was a bit complicated for most people.
And we have seen the two different climbing styles being tested in terms of endurance and power. Some of the lead routes, some very interesting, powerful, dynamic movements that are more common on a bouldering wall. So maybe that is a part of why we've seen some boulders up there getting those top scores.
Yeah, definitely the style these days for lead seems to be a bit more dynamic and committing than a traditional lead climbing style has been, which has been exciting to watch. I love it.
Yeah, an interesting turn of events, and that is just the lengths we're having to go to in order to get these athletes off the wall, you could say. So here we have our first athlete from Japan, Yoshiyuki Ogata. We've already mentioned he has the combined title in boulder this year. Very successful boulder, and now he is in this lead World Cup final in Edinburgh. Let's see what he can make of this wall.
He's been doing really well in lead this season, as well as boulder.
Super interesting to see this, how he's converting it over. You can see in some of his personal training he shares online that he fights at the top. He really is a fighter, which is that skill set that is required for these more endurance style routes. I believe 47 holds in this lead route we have today on the men's side. So for sure a longer one, and again, interesting shape in the wall. As it starts off more vertical. You can see he's just coming into this more vertical section.
And this seam in the wall, this horizontal seam just around where his midsection is, the wall actually hinges there.
Yeah.
Right now it's at the most vertical that it can possibly be, but I think it can come down a fair ways.
Come down a fair ways. Apparently the world's largest articulated wall, and it is an outrageous concept if you look at the size of it there. So Yoshiyuki now.
Oh, interesting.
More power focus. You see both the biceps required to pull up into that next hold.
We were told the setters intended this to be a move with your left hand and a little 1-2. But Yoshiyuki went right hand and matched.
Right hand and matched, and we saw that as well in the semi-finals. He completely broke the method of that crux that all the other athletes struggled with.
Absolutely, yeah.
So you can see he is using his boulder strength to come up with different solutions on this wall. Very exciting to see, but it does cost a lot of power. Will he still have the endurance left further up the wall?
Maybe it was smart though. It was a little less risky. Potentially, we'll see with what happens with the other athletes.
Exactly. The rest of the field is still a complete unknown, and potentially that risky move may have been a big lifesaver for Yoshiyuki by skipping it. We've been told generally that this route has larger holds, but still very difficult. Foot slip there, not what we want. Second foot slip. Yoshiyuki now managing to get back on the wall quite quickly, putting that foot up after 2 slips. That is a very big mental shake, though, that he's going to have to process right now.
He looks like he's in a pretty solid position where he can shake out a bit. And although I think it's quite a dynamic move to the next hold, supposedly it's good and you can shake out a bit.
There's the dyno, big swing, catches it with the right foot, and then left foot into lockout. Now he does look a bit more comfortable. You can see those arms straight, shoulders relaxing, as the fingers don't have to bend so much to keep onto the wall.
Yeah, he looks like he's just chilling now, so it's a relatively good place for him to have that almost slip, so because he's got some space to recover now.
He was quite lucky in that sense.
Whew. That scared me.
Both of us in the commentary box. It is quite a scary thing, and then to be that athlete on the wall dealing with that, not gripping too hard, that is the big crux in sport climbing, lead climbing. You can't grip too hard, otherwise you'll lose all your energy far too quickly. Finds a very precise toe hook there.
Nice.
Quite nice now. Needs to release that right toe. Can't quite stick it. Great effort there. Looks like he didn't quite find that left hand on the release of the right toe and hold the swing.
I don't think that hold is very good either. I think he was kind of trying to go too dynamically to it. From what the setter told us, it's a bump off that hold, so I would assume that that hold's pretty bad. Maybe, and he probably had almost no energy left, but maybe if he had gotten his feet up and left more, he would have been able to hold a more static position as he reached to that hold.
Still a great effort and a very exciting fight from Yoshiyuki. Two big foot slips, unexpected, and then up in that shoulder move, didn't quite find the left arm. You saw those shoulders creeping up as he was trying to put as much power as possible to stick that swing. Fortunately, it was not enough for our athlete. There it is.
Oh. Yeah, it looks like his hands just gave out as he was trying to hop his foot up.
The left hand popped off completely. You can always see the velocity that a climber comes off the wall, whether or not it was a loss of strength or a loss of friction. It was tensing just as much, exploding off the wall. So, next up on the mats, our athlete from Austria, Stefan Scherz, now ready to show what he is capable of.
His first final.
First lead World Cup final.
Very exciting.
Very exciting. He does have some good decoration in the youth championships and European youth cups, but not at the same level on the senior stage yet. But here he is in the final. And another climber who is exceptionally powerful, particularly in the shoulders.
Oh, sneaky little knee bar there.
God, I love a good knee bar. Did you see, we saw earlier before, is it Natsuki Tani finding that knee bar in the semi-finals, a completely different method through the top section of the route. Very exciting to see. Completely broke the method.
And was it Ryu Nakagawa who had the sort of cross-legged knee bar as well? That was exciting.
That was very interesting. We're still trying to figure out what she was doing there. The cross-legged knee bar. Someone write that down. New technique in the book. Stefan now. A little bit of struggle. Very small hold here.
Come on, Stefan.
Again, both of those hands are directly on the midline. Very difficult to hold. Stefan Scherz, one of those bigger, more powerful climbers. When you have big shoulders, though, you really struggle to hold holds that are right in the middle of your body.
Compressing right along that midline. We like to call it T-Rex compression.
T-Rex
Tiny
compression.
little arms. Very uncomfortable.
Stefan Scherz is no T-Rex, and so he found that movement very difficult.
No, the beginnings of these routes, usually the route setters are trying to make the athletes very uncomfortable, and if you second guess yourself, it'll burn more energy.
Yeah, and it is all about efficiency throughout. It's not a matter of just trying hard at the end, which is obviously very important, but if you are leaking energy right from the beginning, you will not have it when you need it at the end of the climb.
So we saw Stefan do the move to those two yellow holds that he's on right now in a different way than Yoshiyuki. So Yoshiyuki went right hand to the first one, the one on the left, matched, but Stefan crossed and kind of jumped into the right hand one.
It's a really nice little pop out there, and those are not positive holds, so you do have to make sure that you're not swinging out whatsoever. It is quite a lot of control of the angle of the hips.
Yeah, for sure. But it was really nice to see he got up there and committed immediately to it. I think Yoshiyuki was a little unsure of what to do. He spent at least a second longer.
At least a second,
a whole second, yeah.
Now this is the foothold on the right that Yoshiyuki had those two big slips. Stefan Scherz, though, no issue there, and he is straight on past. So this was the dynamic move we saw before. Will Stefan Scherz use the same method, jumping his right hand over?
Ooh,
both hands. Very exciting. Another very high-risk movement. It is a skill in itself to be able to utilize high-risk movements, but if they save the energy, then you can do it.
Oh, yeah. Definitely something you need to practice. You need to be ready to commit fully and commit the right amount. Sometimes if you commit too hard, you can overpower it and end up the wrong place. Just like undercommitting will not get you to the right place.
So many levels, so many things to fine-tune when you are doing one of the physically most difficult climbs on a World Cup stage. It's not an easy sport to manage.
Oh.
An unexpected fall there. You could see Stefan not finding the hold, but actually out of balance before, as he reached up, that head went in the arms, indicating he could have done a bit more.
Yeah, he had a different sequence than Yoshiyuki through those last couple holds that he was on. And to do that crossover where Stefan just fell, Yoshiyuki had a right toe hook on the little crimp. Stefan tried to get his left foot high, which would require him to lock off a ton on his right, or his left arm to cross his right arm over. But unfortunately, he just didn't have that power left in his left arm.
Yeah, we just saw that high left foot, showing how difficult that little movement was, but now it has left him in second place. He has fallen behind Yoshiyuki Ogata, whom he qualified above before. Now on to the home favorite, Toby Roberts, only 17 years old.
This is his first World Cup.
This is his first World Cup. He has been absolutely dominating the youth scene lately. And here we are, first World Cup. He is straight to the finals. Very, very exciting to see. The crowd is up and ready. You can hear the cheers of the spectators. They want to see British athlete take on this historic wall here in Edinburgh. You can see that right hand, the hold is very thin. These are not deep crimps that the climbers are climbing on. The level has just moved so far, and that's both hands off in the knee bar. Cheers from the crowd there. Talk about risk movements.
Nah, I think his knee was pretty well locked in there.
Quite in there. High skin intensity, but the risk was fine.
No one needs a skin on your knees anyway.
It's there to be gotten rid of.
Exactly.
Nice deep, deep heel there. Quite difficult to concentrate. Flexing your foot completely away. Almost like a ballerina.
Wow, he really loves his knee bars on these Rock City sort of moon-shaped holds.
These moon-shaped holds. He tried to put it in for a second. Didn't quite find it. I wonder if he's going to go again after. No, coming back down. Decides rather to proceed along. That will have been a little bit of energy.
Yeah, sometimes trying to put in a knee bar that doesn't quite fit takes more energy than it's worth.
Yeah, and those are the decisions that you're always having to calculate on these routes. You know, we saw he used the same method as Yoshiyuki, the more powerful method, but seems to be the less risky method.
Yeah, definitely. It looks like it's a position he can shake out a little bit in now.
Deep rock, but couldn't quite find it there. Does catch that left hand hold now, and then suddenly looking very relaxed after what was a very strenuous position less than a second ago. Taking that time to compose, really impressive from a 17-year-old athlete in his first lead World Cup at all, never mind lead World Cup final.
Yeah, first lead World Cup. Final semis and qualies today, or yesterday.
Very, very impressive. Now you can see high tension, bit of a struggle there, using all those deep muscles in the body to stop from sliding off. This is a lot of energy he's using. Let's see now if Toby Roberts can find somewhere to compose and rest a second.
Come on, Toby.
There's that foot. You could see pasting all the way down on that right hold so as not to slip on these giant, giant macros. Believed to be some of the biggest macros in the world. And here we are setting up for the
Toby.
dynamic movement.
Oh.
Is he in? Is he in? He is in. That was full extension in the right arm. It was very touch and go there for a second.
I wasn't sure if he would be able to reel that in, but
you could see the shoulder almost all the way out, not pulling with those big muscles in the shoulder, but managing to stick on. Great, great effort there.
hope he can rest a little bit here and get a little bit back. I think looked like he burned quite a bit of power through those that section, sort of a couple feet down from where he is.
Just before really pressing in. And let's see how much power he has left. This is the section that both of our previous athletes have come off on. Toby Roberts now about to move through. Will he clip? What is he going to go for now?
He just not quite
bumping
far
the
enough.
left hand again. That is a big move. None of the other climbers chose that method. And unfortunately, it did not work for Toby Roberts. There we have the coach of the British team giving a serious clap for a seriously good effort at this athlete's very first Lead Climbing World Cup.
Yeah, very exciting for him. Very bright future. That was interesting. Right at the end, he tried one method to cross over to that hold, but didn't quite have the height. I think when Yoshiyuki did it, again, he had his right toe way out to the right behind him on the crimp, and Toby tried to just stand up on the black hold, didn't quite reach it, and then decided to change his beta. But unfortunately, he didn't slap high enough, and definitely that next hold is supposed to be grabbed with your right hand. I think where his left hand hit, it was a hold that's maybe just supposed to be for your right thumb.
For the thumb,
yeah.
Well, unfortunately, it did not look like the right choice for Toby Roberts, but again, amazing, amazing effort on that climb. And now we are just coming up to halfway through our final. One more athlete from Switzerland, the fantastic Sascha Lehmann. An amazing, amazing athlete at both of the lead and boulder disciplines. And now this season, we've really seen him come into fruition and start to get those results that we've been expecting for a while now.
Yeah, he was in, this is his second lead final in a row, for sure. On a roll.
So Sascha Lehmann does have 4 podiums in leads, 2 of which are wins.
It's not bad.
That is not bad at all. 50-50 if he makes it into first place. So good setup. Now let's see. He is an athlete who is extremely powerful and solid, but we see him thrown off by particular sequences or movements. Now let's see, what can he make of this climb today that has a variety of sequences or movements. Are they going to be Sascha's style? Is he going to come off lower?
I mean, I'm sure Sascha can make it through this first section. He's moving quickly, efficiently.
Good pace, locking those arms right in. Heavy breathing. It's a difficult route to experience flow with those deep, deep undercuts. Big jump there from Sascha. That was a bit of a surprise. We saw other climbers 1-2. Sascha Lehmann, not a thought, and he was straight up there.
Yeah, very confident. He's looking really good.
Very, very impressive now. Taking that second to rest and compose. We know the next section is not easy and does not let up for a while. So it will be important to gather your energy before moving onwards. Deep, deep lock. Every athlete struggling with this movement and then coming into this closer compression on those bigger holds, but very difficult to hold and move through. Here we are reaching up now. Those
Oh,
arms
that looks so powerful.
locked in super tight though. Sasha Lehmann has this power to use. See a bit of a shake in that right leg. The nerves are there, creeping in as they should at a lead World Cup final. Fully extended between those holds, using the strength all the way through the top. Not able to stick the dyno though. Going up with that left hand, looking like he's twisting in an awkward angle. And again, he was so extended from that toe hook.
Yeah, as probably the shortest athlete that we've seen so far, he looked definitely way more stretched out in that position where he was to jump from than the other athletes. But I still think he committed to the wrong hand. And if he was going to commit left hand, it would have been better to commit both hands for him at his height.
Yeah, which we did see before. Stefan Schertz just going with both hands.
Yeah.
Quite an exciting way. So we have 4 athletes already through. And the first place is actually going to the first athlete out. That is Yoshiyuki Ogata. Qualified in last, but currently sitting in first place. So he has, minus any appeals, secured 5th place. Here we have some replays of Sasha. Here's the jump now. Going with the left. And that, as that right toe released, swinging outwards from the wall. So one more look at those results so far. Halfway through our men's lead final, Yoshiyuki Ogata, qualifying in last place, has flipped the table now, and he is currently first placed up the wall with Toby Roberts, the first time ever in a lead climbing World Cup, sitting in 2nd place. That is not a bad effort whatsoever. So again, another beautiful look at the holds on this wall. We suspect this could potentially be the most expensive lead climbing World Cup final ever. And let's have a quick look of these athletes now making it through these expensive routes. There's that slip. That was a big slip from Yoshiyuki. Really impressive to recover from that. And then there's the swing that we thought was not going to hold. Seeing that right arm starting to slip down, he just about holds it. Look at the extension here, Sasha Lehmann right at the end of his length.
Yeah. There wasn't a lot of room in his legs to generate power from because they were already so extended.
Exactly, you can't jump from a straight leg, and we've just watched that not happen. Again, another beautiful look at this wall in Edinburgh. It is dramatic. It is the only IFSC certified lead climbing wall in the UK, and just on the left beside it, you can't see it in this frame, we have the very first IFSC certified speed climbing wall, and one of the very first speed climbing walls ever. The interesting fact that its serial number is number 4.
Oh wow.
That is
so old.
Edinburgh does have quite a history with competition climbing.
They had the Youth World Championships here in 2009 and I was competing. I've got some photos.
Oh wow.
From when I was there, and when I was competing there, and I don't know when exactly this place was built, but I was here climbing with my family in 2005.
2005.
Yeah, it was very little.
If you don't realize, that is a long time ago. We are in 2022 now.
Showing my age.
So let's all have some existential dread as we think about what year it is. And now let's get back to the Ashton. So, our next athlete out from Japan, Masahiro Higuchi. Another athlete who managed to just squeak through this difficult crux we saw in the semi-final round. Only a few managed to get past and fight on the final roof. Masahiro Higuchi now ready to set off. He is the oldest athlete on our lineup tonight, being 30 years old.
That doesn't sound very old.
Let's not go into that. I'll stop bringing up years and age. He has 45 participations in lead World Cups. 2 on the podium and 1 win. So let's see if he can get himself another podium or win tonight. He has qualified in 5th position, so fourth position, excuse me. So right in the middle of the pack. Could go either way here.
I really like watching him climb.
Precision and flow are words that come to mind.
Yes, exactly. You can hear the Japanese team.
They're always
cheering.
so good at cheering.
Yeah, very supportive of their whole team.
Yeah, and a very unique cheer as well. I think he's quite confident on those holds. Yeah. You could see. Interesting to see, reaching up with that left hand, the feet popping off and just sticking on the undercut. But you saw when he took the right hand hold, he was quite comfortable there. That is his compatriot, his teammate Yoshiyuki Ogata, looking on this athlete. Yoshiyuki is currently in 1st position, so it is Masahiro's to take from him.
And it'll be interesting to see how he does this next section, because
another slip, a different position. These are devious holds we've got on the wall.
Oh, there you go, crossed over. But as the 2 Japanese, I'm sure, read the route together.
Yeah.
So is he gonna go 1 hand or 2 here?
Let's have a see, hesitation, but
oh no.
And doesn't quite get near the hold.
Yeah.
That was unexpected. Masahiro
very
not making it up through this dynamic movement. So really only seen athletes get about 3/4 of the way up this route. There's still more climbing to go, but not to worry, because we only have stronger climbers still to come.
Yeah, just 3 more. We'll see how that goes. Only 2/3 actually. I think there's 45 holds on this route.
There's that slip.
Ooh.
You can tell the tension and precision he had on that left side to slip so badly, but still hold the position so well.
And those unexpected sudden slips, to recover from them takes a lot of energy, like more than you'd hope.
More than you'd hope. And then we haven't even begun to speak of the mental side, to get that shock, that unexpected event, and try to compose.
Yeah, your heart's racing, you got adrenaline pumping in your veins.
And the one thing you have to do is tell yourself, don't squeeze, don't squeeze.
Yeah.
You don't want to overgrip on those holds.
Yeah.
And here we are, one of the best up-and-coming athletes in the world right now, Colin Duffy. Only 18 years old, already been to an Olympics, and one of the first athletes in a exceptionally long time to win a gold medal at both a boulder and lead World Cup at the same event. This is a very unique man on the wall, and we are about to watch him put what he can into this climb ahead of us.
I'm not sure we can even call Colin an up-and-comer anymore, because, I mean, with all those accolades, I think he's more than arrived.
He has more than arrived.
Oh, just a little uncomfortable section here.
Here we have this T-Rex section that you've talked about before. Colin Duffy, though.
Ooh.
Look at that left foot jumping in underneath. That was impressive. That was
very nice.
The boulder coordination we've seen so much throughout the previous boulder season. Just jumping in, a little twist on the left foot. Would you say that was purposeful, or is that muscle memory? He just knows how to keep himself on the wall.
Ooh, I don't know. I don't know Colin well enough to know, but maybe a little bit of both.
Somewhere in the middle. Now let's see if we'll see any more of these dynamic techniques. Look at that, just about making that right toe stick, and then casually coming along onto the next foot. That left hand fully stretched out, and the right toe you can see is actually leaning away from the angle you want to be stepping on it. So quite a small foothold to have to be using as you take your weight off the left.
Oh. Such a big lock-off move.
Very big, and we've seen the athletes quite split. Some of them having an easy time on this movement, some of them not. And there you see Colin Duffy actually finding that lower foot. That lower foot was specifically designed not to be used by the feet. The route setters set up a bit of a extravagant block to make sure that athletes didn't do what Colin Duffy just did. So there we go. The route setters have been defeated once again, and we do love to see it here in the sport.
Oh, we got to get up into that undercling body.
He's not looking good there.
No.
What went on in that moment? Suddenly, high tension in the shoulders. Colin Duffy
Oh, wow.
not looking quite happy right now.
Colin fell at 22, and if we'll see on the scores, Yoshiyuki's score has actually been reduced to 22 as well, matching Colin's because he stepped on a bolt at that same hold that Colin just fell off of. So really unfortunate.
Let's have a see now. Can we see in the replay what went wrong in this position?
Just looked like he wasn't able to get his hips up. So when you've got an undercling, like he had with his right hand there, you really need to stand up and get above it, get your body nice and high for it to feel good. And he was so far below it, I'm sure it felt terrible, and he didn't look like he was able to generate with his right foot so far away, generate any momentum upwards to get him standing up. It's really unfortunate.
Really interesting.
A little bit of a strange foot placement that he had there.
Yeah, such a challenge. We would not have expected to lose such an amazing athlete on, but that is the nature of the sport. So Colin Duffy off lower than we would have expected, and now in front of us we do have his teammate, also from the USA, Jesse Grouper. An amazing, amazing athlete to watch on the wall. Watching Jesse Grouper climb pumped is one of the most intense experiences ever.
He is an incredible athlete to watch. Just he looks like he's not super comfortable, or he might be falling from quite low, and then somehow he just makes it to the top.
He just keeps going. It is really, really impressive.
That's what happened in Briançon, for sure, when he won his first World Cup.
He won his first World Cup. That is quite a nice title to hold. He does have 3 podiums so far, though. Let's see, he's qualified in 2nd place, so is one of the favorites to make it to a podium tonight. And also what we want to see is that fight later on in the climb. We've seen all of the athletes coming off in a very tricky section, thin holds after a dynamic movement. Will we see someone get pushed through and start to fight?
Yeah, it'll be nice to see someone get into the sort of upper section of this route, the upper third. As it stands right now, Toby Roberts is guaranteed a medal.
Guaranteed a medal at his first lead World Cup. That is exceptionally exciting. The British
I'm not sure,
team.
so he might have been in Briançon. I'm not totally sure.
We'll have to go back and fact check that to see how many competitions he's participated in the past.
I seem to remember he was in semifinals in Briançon, but
it definitely does not detract from his achievements.
Oh, not at all.
Tonight, and the British team should be very proud for having a successful athlete on home turf. All right, Jesse Grouper now in these high undercuts you've seen. We've mentioned before, there are good holds on these climbs, but they are positioned in a way that makes them very, very difficult to use. So you can tell these undercuts right up against your body. And again, Colin Duffy, we saw just before, coming off powerful position, struggling to hold on to undercuts above his head. A deep block from Jesse now.
I think, yeah, being quite a bit longer than Colin, it was a lot easier for him to keep his foot on the high one and just lock it off and reach over.
It was impressive by Colin to break through the route setter's intention and find that lower foot, allowing him a easier hold to pivot off of. Here we are, that's the undercut. We've seen Colin come off. Jesse Grouper now needing to wedge in, and he is getting that height now where he can lock it.
I think it was a little bit about just getting your foot up and committing to getting high.
Here we are now, progressing up the route. We are getting close to the point that most athletes are coming off, so it is time to watch. We are entering medal territory here. Jesse Grouper now putting in the right toe hook.
So he just needs to get to 30 plus, the same move that Toby got to, and Stefan Scheritz, to be guaranteed a medal.
Very exciting, and that is due to his higher qualifications. So even if he is on the same hold, same move, he does get granted the higher position in the round. Here we are, good shake up.
Oh,
Jesse.
That's not the same beta that everybody else has done.
Looks like he wants to do this statically, and he does. Hard twist now, but there he is through. Very impressive, removing all of the risk from that movement, using a lot of power now. But Jesse Grouper, one of those athletes we know can fight on through. He is at the beginning of the section where all of our previous athletes have come off. So now is the time to watch. Will we get a new first position tonight? 2 minutes left on the clock. We see Jesse looking down. How much time does he have to rest before he needs to push on? Big stretch. Needs to keep into the wall, finds that right heel.
There you go, he's in first place provisionally now.
Crossing up now, getting the clip. That is a very good sign. Is in a position of control. Very good release from that right toe. Now coming up to the next hold. This is the height.
That's where Yoshiyuki fell.
And still going. Great little throw into that undercut. Such a moment of out of balance, but Jesse Grouper now able to get through in there. Now we've got
can do this blind jump.
Big move ahead of us.
Come on, Jesse.
There we are, big swing from Jesse Grouper, taking that move. He is now really up on the top of that wall, and we are in fighting territory. Look at that left arm bent. This is not a good hold that he's taken a massive swing off of. Will Jesse Grouper rest? Will he move on up to the wall? How far is he going to get? Here we are tonight.
Less than a minute left.
Less than a minute. Second last athlete in this lead World Cup final tonight. Jesse Grouper now chalking up before moving into another undercut. Let's go. Deep, deep undercut. Big stretch, able to stick the move. Another big swing right towards the top of the wall. Jesse now deep heel with the right, turning to look at the clock. 25 seconds left. There's a few moves still ahead of them. These are not easy moves. Look how thin this is. The cross under with the right hand, twisting the whole body left, taking that left hand pinch. High left foot. Jesse Grouper now is showing his capabilities. This is the top of the wall at the lead World Cup final in Edinburgh. One more move. Jesse Grouper grabs the top, and there he has it, clipping the chains. Jesse Grouper of USA has found himself atop tonight.
I don't know if he timed out just as he clipped the top, as he clipped the last draw. I think he might have officially timed out.
Officially timed out. That
on the top hold
might be the second time that has happened in this competition. We will have to consult the judges quickly. It currently says top on his scorecard, and the crowd is up and cheering. There is so much excitement in the Edinburgh International Climbing Arena tonight. Everyone cheering for this amazing athlete.
What an excellent climb.
And look at the smile on Jesse Grouper's face. He is quite pleased with that.
As he should be.
As he should be. Very, very well deserved. Have even the IFSC staff up and clapping for that magnificent performance from Jesse Grouper of the United States of America. Here we see, this is the big move right the way at the top of the wall.
Oh.
Massive swing.
Wow.
Good stick. That was not
very impressive.
Perfectly caught.
No.
And then another big move like that. And turning that undercut right at the lip before throwing for the top volume. That was a performance.
That was, yeah.
That was an absolute show. We had to deal with a lot in a short period of time, as no athletes had made it through to that last section.
Yeah.
And it's quite a dramatic section of climbing.
Yeah, it was. Lots of exciting movement. Yeah, style changes quite a bit up there. It was really nice to see all those last couple moves, and let's see, I hope Luka can also get up there.
Let's hope. This is Luka Pogačar from Slovenia. Now, he is very much worth noting right now because he has qualified in first place, and he is the gold medal winner from our lead World Cup last week in Koper, Slovenia, his hometown.
Yeah, what an amazing moment for him to win his first lead World Cup.
In his home country,
yeah.
Amazing. The crowd, I heard, was out of this world.
Yeah, it was insane.
Really, really exciting. We've been working towards that tonight as well. Everyone cheering on the local favorite, Toby Roberts from the United Kingdom, but we have gotten as many cheers as well, particularly watching Jesse Grouper there top out our route, which does put a lot of pressure on Luka Pogačar now. He does need to get a top if he wants to beat Jesse Grouper tonight.
But I think he knows that, or I'm sure he's going into this confident that if Jesse can do it, so can he. So yeah. We'll see. It's a bit of it's a long route. It's a bit of a slow climb. So he's just gotta keep moving.
Just gotta keep moving.
Oh my goodness!
So Jesse.
Bottom part has been so uncomfortable for everyone.
That was quite an interesting solution he had there. Such a high foot, utilizing a lot of flexibility there rather than the power, but we've seen everyone having a particularly difficult time on this T-Rex section, as you called it. So Luka now, I believe this might be the lip that Yoshiyuki stood on. We're told either a bolt hole or a lip, but
I think it was a little higher because he was at hole 22 is what his score says now, which is where Colin also fell, which is 3 more holds, 2 more holds.
Unfortunate. I guess there is a bolt right there. He might have hit. So
yeah.
It sounds like that appeal has gone through, so it cannot be contested anymore. We will see how things develop before the final scoring tonight. We still have one more athlete on the wall. Luka Pogačar, gold medal winner last week in Koper, Slovenia. He's been to 23 competitions, but he only has 1 win so far. Might have been the home crowd last week, but he qualified in first place in this competition. He is currently the favorite, looking not so comfortable there. We did just watch Jesse look almost the same through this section.
And that was the section that Colin fell, looked very uncomfortable. And his foot looked pretty close to that bolt hanger as well. It's unfortunate none of them are covered. Some competitions this year, they've all been covered with some like slippery covers. So even if you stand on it, bad time.
Yeah, absolutely no texture on the bolt hole covers, making them impossible to use. Ingenious little solution to this problem. Now Luka looking a bit unsteady, reaching up statically through there, saving a bit of risk on this movement. A lot of power used. You can see that right arm straining. Now let's see, can he find the rest and compose before entering this section that so many of the athletes have been thrown off of.
Yeah, everyone just taking a moment to chill on this hold.
That is quite required. All the athletes have observation, read the route beforehand. They know what's coming up. I'm sure he's quite aware that there are not many rests left after this. Here we are, we have that right heel fumbling the clip, but able to be very controlled, reaching through with that right arm. We haven't seen many athletes look that controlled. Now there's the release with the right, and not able to make the release. And that is our final athlete today, off of the wall. Luka Podgar from Slovenia with a score of 31 plus.
So still puts him in second, even, yeah. That was, he matched where Yoshiyuki got, even though Yoshiyuki's score was knocked down because he stepped on a bolt quite a bit lower. But yeah, guarantees him second place, and that puts Toby Roberts into a bronze medal.
That is exceptional. The British team must be
very excited.
Very, very excited now.
He's had quite a season. Just a couple weeks ago at Dallas at the Youth World Championships, he was second in both lead and boulder, I believe. This is only his second lead World Cup.
Well, that is definitely not a bad effort whatsoever. Here we can see this movement. You can see a lot of power required there to hold that swing by Luka Podgar, and then that left hand just not getting the hold, and as well a big release from that right toe that needs to be controlled. We saw Jesse Grouper be completely static with that release of the right toe. And then what an interesting split on this climb. You would think maybe it's too difficult with all the athletes hitting these cruxes in this one section, but then one athlete just blows through straight to the top, showing his absolute caliber and ability.
Yeah, it looked like maybe after, I don't know, potentially it eased up just a tiny bit after the section where Luka just fell for a couple moves at least. But we'll see. Yeah, so there's an appeal right now. I believe that Jesse Grouper may have stepped on a bolt, so we're just waiting to see what the outcome of that is.
No, that will be quite a dramatic change of events tonight, and you can see the entire collection of male athletes standing up, and they are refreshing the app on the phone to see the results of the appeal as they've been made. That's why we won't confirm any results yet. There's the two Americans talking about what may have went wrong in their climbing today. So.
Yeah, it looks like Colin's talking about the move that he fell off on.
That is Toby Roberts, who we believe has a bronze medal. And an interesting fact, only 4 British men have ever made a podium in a lead World Cup, and it has been quite a while since the last ones, most of which were in the 1990s, some of them even in the late 1980s. So Toby Roberts,
so before he was born.
Quite a bit before he was born. Toby Roberts is really setting a new precedent with his performance tonight, which is very, very exciting. But we are all on the edge of our seats right now. We've just watched Jesse Grouper, the second last athlete out, put on this amazing show, climbing all the way to the top of our wall tonight. Some of the most dramatic moves right at the top of this extravagant venue, the Edinburgh International Climbing Arena. But is that going to be taken away from him? Was there an issue?
Yeah, did he stand on a bolt quite low? Well, we'll see. And that would upgrade Toby to a bronze medal here, which is, so I just got confirmation. Toby, this is his second lead World Cup. He did compete in Briançon where he finished 18th, made the semi-final round, but not the final round.
So we are all refreshing our screens as a private conversation is made between the judges, technical delegates of this competition as they process the appeal that has been made. There has been a couple of appeals tonight, so decisions have to be made, and those decisions will be updated on the score list. So again, we are all waiting. I have had news that the appeal is against Potegar, which may suggest that Jesse's top will stay. But Potegar is currently in second position, so that would take that medal away from him right now. As you can see on the faces of the athletes, nobody looks sure. Nobody has decided what emotions they are supposed to be having yet. It is all waiting to be happen, and that is the ins and outs of our sport. It is very, very complex to try match athletes on such an intricate set of challenges. So once an appeal is made, there is a lot of delegation, getting into the specifics, really into the deep beta of climbing and the use of holes, and what does that really mean? So you can see there is a donation to CAC, Climbers Against Charity, Climbers Against Cancer charity, which has been very important and powerful tradition in the scene of British climbing. Been along for a very long time. Started by John Ellison and still going strong. Here you can see £25,000 being donated to the Climber Against Cancer charity.
International trial spanning across 3 continents. STRAS 2 is the first official trial looking into improving the disease control and survival in patients with retroperitoneal sarcoma, a rare and aggressive cancer, which sadly today has a very low survival rate. On behalf of everyone at the EORTC, thank you for supporting the future of cancer therapy. Together, we can increase patient survival and quality of life, especially for patients affected with rare cancers. Thank you.
So there we have a few kind words in relation to the donation made to the Climbers Against Cancer charity, a very powerful and special organization started by an amazing climber known as John Ellison. And so we are going to go quickly to an interview with our winner shortly and have a couple of words with Jesse Grouper, as I believe his position at least is confirmed and is not going anywhere. And something of note at this competition is that the overall champion of the lead climbing season cannot be decided tonight. There will still have to go to Jakarta before the final decision can be made. In the women's section, it is already decided by the great Yanya Gambre. But tonight, 5 of the athletes in this final had already won a lead World Cup. Jesse Grouper, Colin Duffy, Luca Potkar, Sasha Lehmann, and Masahiro Higuchi all have gold medal in a lead World Cup. So they are all in the playing field for this overall title. Jesse now obviously making a great leap ahead with a second win tonight. And let's hear a few words from the man himself, Jesse Grouper, now.
Pretty
You're
sure.
blinding.
Oh, Jesse, congratulations on your second win.
Thank you so much.
So I wanted to ask you, that move in the middle that everybody else jumped and you decided to static, what was going through your head?
Yeah, we had talked about that move a little bit before in preview, and there were a couple different betas that we had talked about and thought about, and I guess I was thinking through all the different combinations and possibilities there, and then at the end of it, I just wanted to commit to one, and I'm glad it worked out.
Yeah, me too. Did you have a favorite move on the route?
Ooh, that's a good question. I really like the top underclingy holds.
Ooh,
that was
yeah.
really fun, for sure.
That was cool. And did you know how close you were to timing out?
I wasn't sure, but I definitely knew it was close. I think every climb this weekend I've been under 10 seconds almost by the end of the climb. I looked down when I topped it though, and I saw that it was timed, so that was a little scary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was hoping you would clip as fast as humanly possible.
I was trying.
Congrats again.
Thank you so much.
There we have a cheery little interview between two athletes who know each other very, very well. Obviously getting into the specifics of the climb. So here we have our results tonight of this Men's Lead Climbing World Cup final here in Edinburgh, in Scotland, United Kingdom. Jesse Grouper with an amazing top, really stealing the show tonight. And in second place, the appeal must not have made it through. Luca Podagar has maintained that podium position. And in third place, Toby Roberts from the UK. Very, very exciting, and you can hear the crowd. Now time for our second presentation of athletes getting ready for the female final tonight.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor and privilege to introduce to you the athletes for the Women's League Final here in Edinburgh. Introducing first, from the Czech Republic, Eliska Adamovska.
Here we have our athlete lineup tonight. Eliska Adamovska, first there to present it. She has qualified in last place, but it does mean that she will be on the wall first. She is the first one tonight to quest up into the unknown, the experience the route setters have created for us. Natsuki Tani, another interesting athlete, finding a completely unique method last night in the earlier today in the semi-finals.
Whenever that semi-finals happened.
Janja Gambre and then Ai Mori. Two athletes that may not be so happy standing beside her. Ai Mori securing that gold medal position last week in Copper, giving Janja Gambre a run for her money, taking away that clean sweep of the season.
At Janja's home World Cup, no less.
Way to make it difficult.
Ooh.
So here is our lineup from tonight. 3 athletes from Japan showing their dominance on this climbing circuit. Eliska Adamovska will be out first. Ryu Nakagawa next. Jessica Pills after that. Natalia Grossman, Natsuki Tani, Janja Gambre, Ai Mori and Cheon Seo out last. So we do have 3 tops in the lead semi-finals. Unfortunately, Janja Gambre timed out and did not get the score as top. It was given as 58 plus. which is very, very unfortunate. She literally had both hands on the top hold, but didn't get the clip in time before the timer ran out.
Yeah, so for in order for her to win, she has to hope that neither Aimori nor Chae Seo tops the route.
That is a very, very tricky one. They both currently have scores higher than her in the qualification rounds, which means if all of those athletes attain the same score tonight, they will automatically be above Janja Gambre.
Actually, I think they might have just been tied from qualification, but it doesn't matter because they have a higher from semifinal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I meant both the semi and qualification rounds. But yes, you are quite right. So another thing to point out that Aimori and Chae Seo both have basically maximum scores from qualification and then semi-final rounds tonight. So if they both find a top tonight, it will likely have to be decided upon time.
Well, I guess, yeah, we'll see how hard this route is.
Yep, we will see how hard this route is. We've seen some interesting methods, and again, the route setters are always trying to make changes to adapt to what they've seen in the previous rounds of climbing. Whether or not those are good or bad changes, is it going to make the route harder or easier? We don't know.
I hope it's hard. I like seeing a really hard route.
Yeah, it is interesting, and it does sort of bring the values more towards that difficult climbing. This part of the sport isn't so much about speed, it's about difficulty, something that's very important to a newcomer who wants to understand climbing. It's not about speed.
They have 6 minutes where they can climb the route or get as high as they can. So I like seeing complicated, like difficult movement and complicated movement where people do things in different ways. That's always interesting to me.
Yeah, yeah. Very, very interesting. Almost getting to see a new climb every time. So here we have our first athlete up tonight from the Czech Republic.
She did really well in Munich at the European Championships, not a couple weeks ago. She made the combined final.
Very exciting. That was a very high caliber event, obviously, with Janja Gambre, Jessica Pills, both in that final as well.
And she was in boulder finals, I think, which was a surprise to her. And she was in lead finals too, right? I think she was. I'm assuming she was.
Let's assume if she made it to the combined final, then it is likely she had those high scores on the individual disciplines. And now here she is, the first athlete up tonight to test herself on this lead climbing World Cup final route. See an interesting position between these two volume sections. Deep, deep drop knee. Almost hard to envision how your leg works in that position. She swaps hands in order to make this reach again. Drop knee less deep that time, able to move upwards through this section into the next pinch. Liska Adamowska now. Very slow and purposeful movement. All of the athletes we've seen so far, very, very capable in climbing competitions, but it is on occasion that we see the nerves creep in.
The beginning section to the women's route looks similar to the men's in that it's just made to get the athletes feeling a little uncomfortable and second guess themselves a little bit. Oh, look at the leg swing here she's going for.
There she does catch it. That was impressive. That was a very big reach with the foot.
That's a big foothold though. So we'll see this.
Very extended, has to press, reverses it.
Yeah.
Suddenly in a risky position. So much power in.
That would have been such a hard lock off with your foot so far away.
So far away, you really need to push almost with your hands to be able to mantle up. Choosing a different method, going with the hand first, finding that crimp, which is a bit better, allowing her to bring those legs across. Let's get out of Mosca now. Looking quite comfortable on this pinch, resting underneath with one arm.
Nice, solid foothold.
There we see the shoulders creeping up. You can tell she needs to keep her body into the wall, and that was it. It was a low ball from Eliska Adamovska. Potentially that big foot swing and trying to press up in that very powerful position cost her a lot there.
Yeah, she didn't commit right away to the sort of jump to the crimp with the foot stab. I think that did cost her. So quite a lot of energy.
You could see on her face there, not the happiest tonight. Look at that. That is a very far away foot to catch. But then here to try press up would have cost a lot of power and be quite risky. And then we saw in that thinner section when you have to keep into the wall, shoulders creep up, the power starts to go, and then she is off quite early. Now we are getting ready for our next athlete out tonight. From Japan, one of 3 Japanese athletes climbing tonight in the female lead climbing final, Ryu Nakagawa.
I hope we see another cross-legged knee bar like we did in semifinals.
Her performance in semifinal was very, very impressive, using morphology to find different solutions, and really amazing to see how she just keeps going. Here we are at that personal ritual we talked about in the speed climbing finals last night. Every athlete has a bit of a personal ritual before they pull onto the wall. In speed, obviously, it's a bit more rehearsed, whereas in lead, I imagine all the climbers have something specific going through their heads.
Oh, I just wasn't sure where she was going to start there. Looked like she initially walked over to the footholds, and I was very worried.
These are not holds you want to be pulling on.
No, no.
Very, very flat and slopey holds.
Wow, very long women's route, too. We have 52 holds.
Well, again, we saw in the semifinals 58 holds. Means that it will be a question of how quickly can you climb tonight. We've got big slip there, not what we want this early on. Now, Ryo Nakagawa getting a cheer from the crowd as she saves that difficult movement. But will that have cost her some energy? Will she have that same focus and flow now? These are the slips that we do not want to have in lead climbing. Leaks in the tank early on.
Hopefully this is a good position for her to just shake out a little bit and reset and be able to keep climbing.
Good position for her, but you could see that right toe was actually in a very difficult drop knee. It is almost a flared hold that she's creating that pressure on. Now here we saw Eliska Adamovska take a method that she decided against shortly after, and we think it cost her a lot of energy. Will Ryu Nakagawa make a similar mistake, or will she choose a successful method first time? Let's see.
Yeah.
Going with that right hand first, that is the method we saw to work before, and now she is through this section looking a bit more comfortable than the previous athlete.
I also think that Eliska's choice to clip from this left pinch cost her some energy because she had to kind of pull up with her bicep to do that.
Really, really pull. I did say it looked like she was resting, but clearly not, as she was off shortly after.
Ooh.
Here
that
we
looks
are.
hard.
Powerful, powerful position. Good tension with the feet, but this is not easy climbing. Our athletes are starting to hold very difficult positions so early on. Ryu Nakagawa, though, appears to have made her way through, but not out of the woods yet. Can she find position to compose? Left foot doing a good job of bringing her into the wall, giving a bit of rest for that left side, but she doesn't take any time to rest there. Likely not as comfortable as she would have liked.
Yes.
There we
Come
go,
on, Rio.
deep toe hook. See that core starting to fall out. There is some leaks in this climbing, but she's looking good now for the dynamic move.
Oh.
Does not make it. Very unfortunate fall from Rio Nakagawa, but she does make a lot of progress above the previous athlete, Eliska Adamovska.
I think she definitely needed her body to be a lot higher to catch that. Looks like a very physical move. You need to jump and sort of pull in with your right arm and kick your left foot against the wall to be able to catch that.
We did see this athlete use so many static and controlled solutions in her semi-final climb. That is the heel pop. That is a
Even
very
watching it again,
good
I know
save.
she catches it, but
that was
so
a very
scary.
good save. And this is the jump. Quite static, but then you need
she
to
also
jump
caught the
that left
hold
side up.
very low. I think it's a bit better, a bit higher.
Yeah, definitely better, a bit higher. And again, as you talked about those undercuts before, they're only good when you're a bit higher up on them. If you grab an undercut well above your head, it is not very useful. So again, an athlete, we said, so good at those static and controlled movements. And a new challenge on the wall, a dynamic coordination move, multiple body parts having to move at the same time, has caught her out so far, but it's clearly very difficult climbing up to there as well.
Yes. Yeah, we'll see what the next couple climbers can do with this route.
Let's have a see. So our next climber out tonight needs very little introduction. From Austria, Jessica Pils. She is a world champion. She has 18 podiums to her name. 3 wins in lead climbing.
Almost always in finals.
Very much an athlete to keep an eye on tonight.
And an amazing boulder as well as lead climber.
Definitely a favorite for the combined formats that will be present in the Olympics in Paris 2024.
Already an Olympian. Yeah. Hopefully she can make it a double.
Be very surprised if she doesn't
Yeah.
have the capacity to get in there and make qualifications for the Olympics.
Yeah, and those qualifications start just under a year from now.
Just under a year, so it is on the doorstep. Will be on the back of everyone's minds. Competitions like this are so crucial for training for those bigger experiences and events. Here we are. Quite good movement through here. Very purposeful. Very controlled in the body position as she twists around to use those directional holds. Jessica Pils now, we've seen some mix-ups with the beta. She's already making that match, suggesting that she's quite confident in her choice to move that right hand up. Will she bring the foot? She does. Deep lock, but able to make it work.
Very smooth.
Look at the length on that arm, keeping in those comfortable positions. That's the clip you mentioned, Eliska Adamovska lost some energy on. Will it affect Jessica Pils now in these next moves?
Yeah, I mean, it looked very smooth. I just think that clipping above your head, not totally necessary. It'll always burn a little bit of energy to pull the rope all the way above you, rather than once you climb above the clip or when your waist is more even with the clip, you don't have to pull as much rope up. Looks like she could have clipped from up here, but you know, if you're feeling solid on a hold, kind of may as well clip.
May as
You
well.
never know.
The name of the game, energy loss in lead climbing as a discipline. Now we've seen Jessica Pils fumbling a lot, trying to decide what sequence she wants to use through this section. Now going for that tight compression, the power, chest muscles squeezing together. She is through now. That was a long period where she did not know what to do there.
Eventually, though, she made a decision and committed to it, so that was very good.
That is exactly what you need to do in this sport. Here we have now Jessica Pills moving up towards uncharted territory. She is about to get into the position of this coordination movement.
No
there you
toe
see.
hook the way that Ryu did.
Can she jump up high enough into this hold? No, she can't. Definitely in quite a difficult position. You pointed out the lack of toe hook. I mean, she was very driven on that right toe when the left toe needed to flag to stop the barn door.
Yeah, I don't think she had anything to jump from. She was in such a awkward position. Her body was kind of locked there. Yeah, by not getting that toe hook and switching feet, she kind of, yeah, hurt herself there.
Just an unfortunate sequence of movements, leaving her in that position that was not quite best set up to make the jump. Jessica Pills, an athlete so competent in bouldering. If she was in the right position, we would have no doubt she would have been able to complete the move. Unfortunately, that was not the case tonight at this Lead World Cup final. And so off the wall, she is currently in first place.
Yeah.
With that, having the same score as Ryo Nakagawa, but having qualified higher. Now though, one of the biggest names in climbing right now from the USA, Natalia Grossman, having one last look at this route. The crowd is all behind her. They all know her name. They're very excited to see what she makes of this climb tonight. Again, one of those athletes that we see as a boulder, so much success in the boulder season, and then able to transfer those skills across into lead climbing. So impressive that she's making these positions in this discipline. Here we go. Natalia Grossman is now off making that first clip. This is the part you watch to try to determine the flow of the athlete. How purposeful are they? How hesitant are they? Are they moving consistently? Are they sticking to their method, their beta they decided before? Or is there a lot of thought? Is there a lot of hesitation in there? Natalia Grossman now looking quite good through this section, but as we've seen in the previous climbers, this lower section is absolutely no giveaway. Everyone looking very tired very quickly at the bottom of this route.
Just a little uncomfortable. But they've all made it through, but definitely some people have looked smoother than others.
Definitely different levels of smoothness, you could say. Really, that is, you say uncomfortable. In climbing, that means over gripping. If you are uncomfortable, you are squeezing those holds harder than you want to, and that is energy falling out of you.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see, is Natalia gonna get her foot up? Yeah.
Going for the method that seems to work best for our athletes. Now able to lean right back on that hold, looking comfortable. Here we are now. She's gonna clip. She's gonna move up first. Seeing in the face, slight loss of comfort. Dynamic move up to the next hold, but she does catch it. Here we are into that tight position against the wall, taking as much weight off the hands, making a quick clip. Deep squeeze, T-Rex section again, but no hesitation there. She just went, did it purposefully, and certainly lost a lot less energy than Jessica Pills did on her attempt in this section.
Looks like she had it, She was more committed to what she decided to do, or committed earlier to what she wanted to do.
Very much so. Natalia Grossman taking a second to look back at the audience, remembering to have a good time. competing at this level, athletes always reminding themselves how much they love the sport and why they're doing it.
Yeah, if we didn't love it, what's the point?
It's a lot of work for something you don't want to be doing.
Yeah, let's see if she gets, yeah, that toe hook.
There's that
Jessie
toe hook.
missed.
Able to reach under to make that clip. Now we are set up for this dynamic movement. We have a boulderer here. They're very experienced in these types of moves.
Come
How
on,
will she
Natalia.
fare?
Oh, I really want her to get this.
Tell she's looking a bit extended. That is what's causing
Ooh,
the
she's going to try
hesitation
to
now
release
to
before.
pinch. Coming into that closer toe, staticking up. Amazing solution there from Natalia Grossman, and now she has secured that hold. Big smile back to the audience.
She knows this is where everyone else fell.
She knows now she's got a good position in her hands, which is very exciting. And there we have a good hold to rest. Spotlight in the arena. You are the only one up there. All eyes on you. It's time to show them what you've got. Pushing through to the next section now. Big fight on pinches. Manages to throw through. A toe hook, taking a bit of a rest, chalking up. Very intense position here in that left toe hook. So much weight on your arms. Natalia Grossman has energy to spare though. She's taking through here as she continues along into the next section. Saw that right hand creeping up into the Gaston. She needs to rearrange before she's in a position to make it work. Not what she wants there. What method is she going to choose now? There we are, straight through. That was a very good save. Nearly losing it those two times.
Two good saves, yeah.
Now, can she recover enough? 1 minute and 10 seconds left. There is a good amount of wall left, but potentially not too much. Natalia Grossman may have the potential to get up into the upper section of this wall. Another slip.
Definitely looking a little tired now.
That right toe not quite finding the position. A lot of energy used in the shoulders there as the toe wasn't quite right. Coming back to rest for a second. Very good
able to
skill.
shake out a bit, yeah. Whew.
Now let's see, the clock is running down. That is not what Natalia will want.
Wow.
She knows she's going to have to move soon. Creeping up. Very intense on the shoulders now. Natalia Grossman off the wall. Very difficult move, but amazing effort from this athlete. Finding a completely different solution for that dynamic move that put all the other athletes off. Squeezing in the undercut to release the toe and take a closer toe hook.
Hard what she did. I mean, it got her through the move, but I don't know if all the athletes could do that.
Yeah, that is going to be the question. We have 4 more athletes to come out now after Natalia Grossman, all of which have qualified in a higher position than Natalia. So we are expecting to see them get higher up, but great progress on this route already. We have 1 stopper move. How is the next athletes going to manage that dynamic section, and then how are they going to manage the fight that comes after? So here are our results so far. First place from the USA, Natalia Grossman, 10 holds above previous competitor Jessica Pills from Austria. Ryu Nakagawa underneath Liska Adamovska in 4th place right now. So that is 4 of our athletes down now. We have 4 left, but we will have a short break now before continuing on for the second half. So let's have a quick talk with Cheon Seo. Cheon Seo, one of only 2 athletes to make a top on this route today. What did you think? Was it a fun route?
Yeah, it was really fun because the lower part was really tricky moves, and I was really confused at every move, and the top part was really pumpy and small holes and bad foot, so was really hard.
What did you think of those bad holds right at the very end of the route?
I was really hard to solve that move,
Yeah.
and the feet hold bad and hand holds are so bad. So I was really tired, and but I topped the route, and I was really proud of me.
Amazing, yes. And how are you feeling? Are you psyched for tonight's finals?
Yes, I'm really excited to be here. My first World Cup in Edinburgh, so I'm really excited.
Amazing, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Some great words there from our joint first place qualifier tonight, Chaeun Seo of Korea. Such a amazing and dominant athlete on this scene.
And very young.
Very young.
Lots to come from her, I think.
I am just looking at her statistics for lead climbing World Cups and Championships. She has made to finals in every single competition she's entered.
Wow.
Every lead World Cup and Championship. That is a very good record. 14 participations, 11 of those she was on the podium.
Wow.
This is one athlete to watch tonight, and she will be the last out in our running order. In the meantime, however, our next athlete qualifying in 4th place in the semi-final competition earlier from Japan. It is Natsuki Tani. (18 years old), one of 4 athletes in our finals tonight who are 18 years old. That is showing the direction that the field's going, and really a representation of how our sport has evolved so much recently, and we are now getting a new caliber of athlete who've trained from a very young age, seeing what they are capable of in competitions. Obviously, all of these athletes still have a lot ahead of them. Natsuki Tani now starting off on our route. We watched her in semi-finals earlier today. She found some very unique methods for solving the boulders. The athlete used a knee bar nobody else saw. Was able to skip a section of a climb. Very impressive. Amazing to watch her climb. It is quite slow, but often looks effortless. Natsuki Tani, been to 14 lead World Cups or Championships, but she's only made podium once so far. She is in the runnings tonight, having shown one of the better performances. Can she find herself another podium to add to her list, or even another win? Something she has not yet achieved on the World Cup stage. Good little pop there. A lot of the athletes...
Oh, she was almost too low.
Almost too low.
Scary.
But we saw athletes were struggling in this section. Natsuki Tani, though, look at this close squeeze that everyone's had so much trouble. Again, she's making it look relatively easy.
Relatively, she's definitely using power, though. You could see her straining there. Interesting foot sequence she had. Different from everyone else.
It is a wide foot, but she's doing quite well now. Pushing up, coming close to this first dynamic section. Only seen one athlete find the solution there, and it was a novel solution, breaking the intended method. What is Natsuki Tani going to choose to do here?
No toe hook. Oh, a close toe hook, just like Natalia ended up in.
Making that reach and brings the foot up. Natsuki Tani breaking the dynamic method again. Just a great show of skill and ability.
I like that, grabbing the quick draw to make it swing so it would bring it closer to her so she could clip it.
All those little tricks that athletes build up over time. They all add up in a competition.
Definitely.
Here, Natsuki Tani now halfway up our lead wall tonight in the Edinburgh International Climbing Arena. She is currently in second place, only the second athlete to have made this move. Natalia Grossman has progressed further, a whole 8 holds ahead of where Natsuki Tani is right now. But Natsuki has just finished her rest and she is moving right into these pinches designed to sap the power from your body. Also quite a complex sequence of movements. Natalia Grossman not finding the right foot position, had to readjust a few times. What will we see now?
Yeah, let's see if Natsuki's able to figure it out. First go.
This is where Natalia bumped up early. Natsuki looking, there she finds that right toe, can reach straight up through. Will save her some energy now. This is the section we lost Natalia Grossman. Natsuki Tani now looking for that first place in the lineup. Dropping in, matching the hold. This is impressive.
This cross is enormous.
Very difficult position, not able to move up. That is such a massive cross.
Yeah.
As you pointed out.
Lost her in the same move as Natalia.
They're dropping in, you could see, trying to get her weight in between those two volumes. Deep drop knee, trying to match on that hold. Maybe not to move out left, but to have a little bit of purchase in order to move upwards. That was a difficult move.
I wonder if her right foot hadn't been standing on that hold, but instead heel hooking the hold above. Heel hooking this hold, the one that her right hand's currently on. Yep. I wonder if she could have used that to get higher.
Interesting.
It's always easy to, you know, make these judgment calls sitting here on the ground in the commentary booth.
So easy to just have a little bit of chat about what she should have done. And do need to highlight that while we do try to essentially speculate about what's going on up the wall, we are in no way, shape or form demeaning the amazing effort that is going on this Lead World Cup final tonight.
Yeah, definitely. Well, next up we got Janja.
You can see in the dark the big name about to come out. Janja Gambre. This is an interesting position for her. Athlete from Slovenia.
I hope climbing's a little easier than walking out is for her today. I'm sure it will be.
Tripping over that rope, you can see athletes' absolute focus. There is only one thing on your mind. So even walking in front of the climbing wall can prove somewhat treacherous. But here, we do need to highlight Janja Gambre lost her first Lead World Cup. Again, we're using this word lost. That is not the correct term. Janja Gambre came second in her first lead. Had her first second place last week in Koper. And that removed her winning streak of first places throughout the season. And she highlighted it had an effect on her. Now she enters this World Cup final in a handicap position. She needs the athletes in front of her not to top the climb in order to get first place.
Yeah, because she timed out in semifinals. So all she can do now is climb. Hope that the route is very hard. Hard enough that not everyone's topping it, and climb as well as she can. It's always amazing to watch Janja climb. She's so committed. Her movements are so precise. So.
Yeah, very impressive. And again, on every discipline in the sport, bouldering as well. Such an amazing climber. So let's see, we hope to see some exciting movements up in this route, and already dynamically jumping to that crimp. All the other athletes putting a high foot, using a bit of power to lock up. Janja Gambra just jumping and catching it quite effortlessly.
She's very confident in her own strength, you can see from that move.
Very much so, and it is amazing to see. Often you see solutions unlike any other put out by Janja Gambra in the climbs that she does.
You see Janja's solution to grabbing that hold was a little different than the other athletes. It looked like it was burned less power.
Very, very good. And talk about her strength and ability.
Oh, she looks like she's having a good time. Just
having a go at it, seeing what she can make of these things. Entering those high-risk situations. It is certainly a learning experience, particularly in a lead climb, to use more dynamic methods. Often we try to remove the risk in lead climbing, but you might save energy. Let's see now, what method will she choose for here? And dynamically up, she had that further toe hook, but able to pop up, press against the wall.
Just the way she made that dynamic movement, she started it slow and then popped and kicked the foot. That was very nice. Very smooth.
Very smooth, textbook movement, you could say. Start taking notes on how to climb confidently and efficiently, because we are seeing it now. Janja Gambra on the wall. Silence in the crowd. The music has stopped. The tension is high. Janja now resting before setting out into this next section. But we haven't seen any athletes make it all the way through yet. But this is one of the favorites, and she can put on a better show if she can get further up than the next two competitors. She will secure that first place again. Very high tension in that right shoulder now. Popping up into that crimp. A lot of energy used there, but rocking onto that right hip, taking a little weight off.
See what she does with this massive crossover.
Let's see, Janja Gambra though, straight through.
She just does it.
Now making new progress. She has found the highest hold of any athlete so far on this route. She needs to bring the feet across, and we are now in uncharted territory on this climb. Let's see what Janja will be choosing. Very strained on that right shoulder. Able to make it up through, so powerful through these moves.
Just not at all what the route setters wanted there.
Janja does not care what the route setters want. She is going up this climb, and no one is going to stop her. One more rest. There is only one section left. Janja's found a rest. She has a minute left, taking that quick second to look at the clock. She's in a good position now. Let's see, what can she make of this final section? Setting off now into the powerful shoulder. Foot up high, pressing in. Now turning the hold, reaching right into this last couple of holds. Very good tension in the feet. Deep heel. Can't let that cut loose. Two shoulders now, and then up to the next hole, cutting on the final lip of this wall in Edinburgh. Right toe up. One more move. Can she find her way all the way up to the volume? She can, and that is a top for Janja Gambra tonight here in Edinburgh. 20 seconds on the clock. No issues with the clip. She has that top, and she should be very, very happy with that.
That was excellent. Wow. So impressive.
So impressive. So much power in the shoulders. You can see them twisting all the way through their extension. Not letting go though. Putting the feet on, standing up. And what an amazing show from Janja Gambra. A cheer from the crowd. Spotlight on her. She very much deserves it.
Yeah, what a climb. I don't think those moves get any easier through that roof section, even though she made them look easy.
Just did it. A similar situation with Jessie Cooper, the only athlete to break through that section. just continues on. We can speculate, maybe it's easy, but I'm almost certain those moves towards the top are not easy.
No.
Here we have that jump that she did so effortlessly in a style no other athlete has been able to recreate so far. Everyone else using a different method, and now a final cut loose before she grabs the top of this wall in Ratho Arena, Edinburgh.
All right, now tensions are high. I guess we'll see what Aimori and Cheun Seo can do.
Yeah,
If they top it, they will beat Yanya.
It is all to play for right now. With what we've just watched, it's hard to imagine how anyone else could get up this route.
Yes.
Questions are all out there.
But
How-
Aimori was amazing last week, so we'll see.
Let's-
And Cheun Seo is also an amazing athlete.
Without a doubt, there is a reason that they are walking out onto this wall after Yanya Gamra, and that is because they have fared better than her so far in the previous rounds of this competition. And now from Japan, 18 years old, Aimori steps out and gets ready for this lead World Cup final climb. Casually stepping off, great purpose in her movement. Always keep an eye on those first couple of moves. That's when the nerves are highest. That sort of sets the tone for the rest of the climb.
Before you've sort of settled in to the route.
Yep, before you've settled in, before you're in the zone, before you know you're climbing, very start moment. And you often see route setters trying to take advantage of this. They'll set some sort of jump or dynamic move at the start, which is not usually within the lead climber's toolkit. It's just there to shake them up, make them start asking some questions.
Yeah, make them second guess themselves, make them hesitate, and just burn more energy than they should.
All about energy in this sport. We are currently witnessing the second last athlete tonight at this lead World Cup final in Edinburgh. My name is Dan Markey. I am your commentator, and I am joined by Alana Yip, Canadian athlete, but also an Olympian, someone who is very, very qualified to explain the very difficult and complex things that are happening on the wall in front of us right now.
See Aimori moving through that section very differently than Yanya.
Very, very differently, using the locks and the static sequences.
Oh, that looks hard. Oh my goodness.
That is very difficult. That right toe not at the angle that she can easily rock over on.
No.
See, testing how far she can lock, but it was not enough there. This is an issue. This is not what we want to be dealing with so far down the route. There, throwing for it, getting the hold, potentially a little bit out of the comfort zone.
Potentially, yeah.
Now Aimori, again, more hesitation. Not too much though. We've seen other athletes, Jessica Pills, really taking some time to figure out what choices to make in here. Now looking powerful through there, but seems to be confident, happy enough to clip from this difficult undercut with the right hand.
Second guessing a lot of her initial placements of feet and hands.
Is an athlete, only been in 7 lead World Cups so far, so not a whole lot of experience compared to Yanya Gamra, who's been in 43 lead World Cups or championships. Aimori as well, having won her first gold medal last week in Copper. It is a lot going on in your head. It is a lot to deal with.
Yeah, definitely. And you never know, sometimes after being quite successful at one competition, it puts some pressure on you.
This is something we talk about time and time again. Yanya Gambra, she is dealing with this pressure at untold levels, but still managing.
Yeah.
Now here, the dynamic section. Mori, climber we've seen move more statically. There, that left hand turning
Same as
into the
Natalia.
undercut. Same as Natalia, more powerful. Can she reach all the way up though? Just about getting under. It's not so good at this, but she gets far enough to bring herself up into the good part. And now, with 2 minutes left on the clock, Mori has made it past the rest. If she wants to get that first place, she's going to need to find a top tonight.
Decides to take no rest there.
No rest.
Yeah.
Maybe she is more aware of the time. Maybe she's not tired at all. Could be anything.
Well, yeah, she's only she's just over halfway, so she's only got a minute and a half left.
Minute and a half left, so could safely assume she is aware she needs some pace in order to continue up and try get to the top of this wall tonight. Mori now will be sacrificing that rest, will be risking having more of that pump, that lactic acid in the forearms.
She's moving a lot quicker now than she did at the beginning of the route.
Very aware, but also very impressive that she is able to switch gears, move at this pace without coming off. And we've just watched her make that difficult crossover that all of the athletes, bar Yanya, came off. Now, punching up into the next Gaston. Mori is looking relatively good so far, matching on this incredible 2 fingers. What a sight that was. 2 fingers on this hold, matching through there, breaking the method again. Nobody has time for the roots headers intended beta. That was amazing. 2 fingers, just about holding on. And now she's got to keep going. Only 30 seconds left and still a sequence of moves ahead of her. Mori appears to be aware. She is moving at pace right now, but still being precise, keeping those feet on the holds. One more move over the lip. Now we've got that swing, cutting loose, foot out right. She's got 10 seconds left to find a top, gets that crimp up onto the volume. 6 seconds, 5 seconds to find a clip. Can she? And she can find a clip. She puts Yanya Gambra out of first place, and Mori now has really flipped the table on this competition.
Wow, the amount that she sped up there, that was incredible. I thought she was going to come off at the beginning of the route.
That is so impressive how she just turned around. You expect most climbers have their pace, and they won't do so well if they're outside of their pace. This athlete just changed things around completely.
Yeah.
Changed her style altogether.
Impressive.
What a good show tonight we have. Big upset on the scene. Yanya Gambra has been pushed out of that gold medal position. Mori now is there. She will be standing at the top of the podium if Cheon Seo can't do something about it. Cheon Seo needs to find a top. She needs to find a top quicker than Mori.
Yeah, well, Mori only had, I don't know, maybe 3 seconds left on the clock when she topped out. So basically, if Cheon tops it, she will be faster than Mori.
Yeah,
tops it within the time. Yeah.
Probably the more difficult thing would be to top it with less time than
Yes.
Mori. That would be very,
I don't know,
very
Jesse
difficult.
Grouper did it.
Yeah, this is a very good
On
point.
the men's route, of course.
We have
but
seen it right down to the line. I've no idea how the route setters have measured it so well in terms of time.
I think it's just the wall. The wall is just longer than usual.
Very, very impressive to see tops at this competition, at this amazing wall tonight. And we are now on our last athlete of this lead World Cup final here in Edinburgh. In front of you, we have Cheon Seo of Korea. She has topped all of the routes so far in this competition. She is currently qualified in joint first place with the athlete that has just came out before her, Mori. Mori now has give Cheon Seo a challenge. Cheon Seo now must top the route quicker than Mori if she wants to get gold medal position. And we can see already there is a good pace. Chaeyoung Seo is moving smoothly.
She knows for
up
sure.
through these
She
holes.
heard the last 2 people top, I guarantee.
So she knows that she's got the same score as Ayamori previous round, so it will come down to time, and that is a very good advantage to bring that pace in from the beginning of the climb. But what we saw before, Ayamori just changing gear right in the most difficult section of this lead route tonight, the section that threw all of the athletes out, and Ayamori just sped up.
Yeah. It was interesting because Ayamori seemed very hesitant on the first section of the route, the section that almost everybody made it through, and then, yeah, sped up on the part that spat off most of the climbers.
So amazing. And again, we highlight in climbing there are so many different solutions to the problem, and we talked about how most of the other athletes are losing energy with that lack of security in the start. Ayamori, though, dealt with it in an unbelievable way. Now we are watching Chaeyoung Seo of Korea, the final athlete of this entire competition in Edinburgh on the final route tonight. And it is all to play for. She has slowed down a little bit. Certainly a natural reaction in terms of maintaining security, actually making sure you do the movements on the climb.
Yeah, because the first thing she needs to do is just top the climb and then worry about it being fast.
And then worry about it being fast. And this guy is also worried about how fast she's going to be. Now into this first dynamic section. It has spat off many of the athletes before. Chaeyoung Seo, very successful athlete, but does not dismiss the challenge she has ahead of her. How will she solve it?
Release the right toe or not?
Looks like she wants to go dynamically, but taking that second to think about it, taking a little rest. Looks like a dynamic move and able to do it. Quite a wide swing. We were on the edge of our seat there, but Chaeyoung Seo has made that work.
Oh, her coach is very relieved.
That is her coach. Very, very motivated now. Chaeyoung Seo gotten past the dynamic section, seen as more of a static athlete. Would imagine if there was something going to throw her off, it would be a coordination piece like that, but she has made it through. Now, already onto the next section. Didn't take a lot of time to rest. She knows she needs to move fast now. Bumping up onto that little hold, screwed on. Keeping the precision. Here we are. The next crux that has thrown off so many of our athletes before. How will Chaeyoung Seo fare? Big cross through coming up.
Oh, she looks pretty good.
She is quite comfortable there, deep on the shoulder, but has the finger strength to maintain grip on that left hand hold and roll up into the next section. Now, this is the other section. Both athletes who've made it through here have broken the method. Big swing there, not quite what we want. What method will Chaeyoung Seo now choose?
Oh, the intended beta?
Checking with the foot. Will it be the intended beta? Gets the first toe hook. It's not that good. Gets it again. Reeling in. Now managing to rest. Showing an amazing display of finger strength now. Now is she also going for the 2-finger match? Such high stakes here. Half of her body's held by a toe hook, but she made it work. Made it work. Chaeyoung Seo now through this section. 1 minute and 30 left. She is in a good place if she continue on. But hard moves now. The face is looking like it's straining. What are we going to see now? These moves are no giveaway. How will Chaeyoung Seo make it?
The fact that she's not clipping right away. Okay, now she's clipping.
There is some hesitation.
I'm nervous for her.
This is absolutely nerve-wracking. She has a minute left.
Lots of time to make it to the top for sure, but she needs to rest and make sure she can get through the movements first.
Was a sketchy sequence. You can tell she did not make it through with as much comfort as she wanted. 40 seconds left. Jae Seo now prioritizing topping this climb. That is step number 1, but the time it takes her will affect everything. Still resting with 30 seconds left. It is getting close. Does she know she needs to move? She sets off, not looking that powerful, throws up with the left, but it wasn't enough. Now it is really up to question. Will Ai Mori win a second gold today here in Edinburgh? Jae Seo looking like she's struggling, finding some rest. Only 10 seconds left. We can say it might be a bit too late to get to the top in time. Jae Seo, that is it. She is timed out on these holds. And that is our World Cup decided. She's still going on though. That is one of the things we love, the love of the sport. Don't know if it's been communicated. The judges are up on their feet and now she's heard. The time is out. Jae Seo off the wall, having achieved 3rd place tonight in this final. You can see a little bit disappointed. She had more to give, but she didn't have enough time. What an interesting sequence of events.
Yeah, she was set out at a really good clip and then just tired out, only like 5 moves from the end.
So close and in control, having fought through that difficult section.
Yeah, she was guaranteed 3rd no matter what she did, but she didn't know that. I wish she would have just continued even though she was exhausted and seen where she could have got.
Seen what she could have done.
Yeah.
One of those athletes you see fall so rarely, refusing to. Unfortunately, time was the main issue in this Edinburgh Arena. We have this massive wall, 48 holds on the route.
Yeah, it's almost a bit too long for our 6-minute time limit, eh?
It is a lot of climbing to do in 6 minutes. We did see 2 athletes make it, and they have secured themselves 1st and 2nd position, but what an event we had tonight. So that is our Edinburgh Lead World Cup. We have finished all of the climbing. I've just sent my co-commentator Alana Yip off. She's going to find Ai Mori, the winner of tonight's final, to give her an interview. What a mix-up we've seen coming down to time for the final position. Ai Mori as well, literally clipping the top of this climb as the timer runs out, and that is what put Janja Gambra out of 1st position. And now 2 World Cups in a row where a legend we see as Janja Gambra now in 2nd place. The field is catching up. Will things change? Will the unbeatable Janja Gambra be finding a new position in the World Cup circuit? We are now seeing it all unfold. Very, very exciting. We have one more Lead World Cup in Jakarta coming up 24th to 26th of September. And after that, we have a combined Climbing World Cup Boulder and Lead, testing that new Olympic format that will be present in Paris 2024. That will be in October 20th and 22nd. So those are 2 dates to put into your calendar. Big events coming up. The last events of this IFSC season. So here we have the results in front of you of our women's lead final. 2 athletes with at top. And this is the same positions we saw them last week in copper. Ai Mori from Japan in 1st position, and Janja Gambra from Slovenia in 2nd. After that, Jae Seo, who had such a strong position in the qualifying and semi-final rounds, not able to make the top in time. And then Natalia Grossman, 4th place. Let's go and hear from Aimori.
Congratulations. How do you feel?
I was very nervous, but I think just enjoy. So
it was an excellent climb. You climbed very fast at the top. Did you know you had to get to the top of the route?
no. I know Yaya is got top, so I have to reach the top. So
Congratulations.
thank you.
Those are some quite poignant words there from Aimori. I was nervous, but then I remember to have fun. It's quite a special line we have from her there, and it really did win the hearts of the crowd tonight in the Edinburgh International Climbing Arena. Everyone cheering just at the beautiful little answer to her question. A fantastic moment there, and really the crowd is up. Everyone's on their feet. They are buzzed from the event that we just experienced tonight. It really was a special one, quite unique in how things played out. 2 tops by Aimori, having that position ahead in semi-finals, managing to win another lead climbing World Cup tonight. There you have your scores in front of you. Again, more amazing performances from the next athletes. Natalia Grossman in 5th place, Jessica Pills 6th, Ryo Nakagawa in 7th, and Aliska Adamoska 8th place. Such a great performance from everyone, and in the males tonight as well. A highlight for sure, Jesse Grouper powering through the crux that put off all of the other male competitors, and then continuing on through an amazing sequence of climbs, 2 massive cut looses before getting himself a top as well. So we have Olympian herself, Alana Yip, back in the commentary booth. Just did a lovely little interview. I was nervous, but then I remembered, have fun.
Yeah.
A great little line there, and the whole crowd cheered, which is great. So
adorable.
So poignant and so representative of our whole sport.
Yeah, it's great to see the attitude of all the competitors. It's you versus the wall. It's not you versus other people. People are very supportive, and all the climbers are doing it because they love it.
Exactly, exactly. It's not a sport where you want to become a multimillionaire like a Premiership footballer. You get into this because you absolutely love it, and the dedication these athletes are putting into their sport. Climbing all day, every day. All your social activities climbing, all your holidays climbing. It really does take over your life. And there, a quick look at our men's results as well. That appeal on Luca Potkar's position did not go through, and he did maintain his 2nd place, 31 plus. And then Toby Roberts, the big upset in tonight's competition. 2nd lead climbing World Cup ever, and here we have 3rd place in his home nation. Everyone more than excited to see that. What a show we have had tonight.
So for Toby, it's the first British male podium in a World Cup since 1995. Ian Vickers in Moscow.
Wow.
So that was long before Toby was born.
He has entered quite unprecedented ground for the British climbing scene right now.
Yeah. Thanks to Graham Alderson for those stats.
Good old Graham Alderson, one of the titans of climbing as a sport, essentially part of the founding fathers of the IFSC. He's really carried this sport right the way from those little wooden holds and dingy garages up to the Olympic platform we see today.
Yeah, for sure.
Very, very privileged to be here in this position, in this amazing arena tonight. Here we have
That's a cool looking podium.
quite a nice podium. Only imagine is inspired by the Scottish culture. Lots of woods in the Highlands here. And that is our athletes now lining up to get on the podium. You can see the three there. We've just talked through them and their amazing performances tonight. First up from Great Britain, they're on the right in third place. Toby Roberts. Can't wait to see his smile. I'm sure there'll be a lot of people in the crowd that he knows he's going to have cheer on as he steps up on this podium. There he is.
Huge cheer.
Great cheer through the crowd there. Such an unprecedented performance.
There's something about a home World Cup. You know, for Luka last week in Slovenia, Toby this week here, it's
Something about it, putting that fight in your bones. A big
all right,
smile.
Canada. I want one at home.
Let's get a World Cup in Canada, please. Alana Yip needs to see some smiles. Luka Podkar now, last week's gold medal winner, has himself a second place medal today. Very much deserved. Very exciting to see where this athlete will be going next. He's only 20 years old, but really starting to take over the scene. But now, the star of the men's show tonight, Jesse Grouper.
What a climb he had.
What a climb he had. What a show we got to see, breaking through that crux and then just going.
All the way to the top.
All the way.
And I've never seen a closer finish time-wise.
So amazing. Very, very well deserved from Jesse Grouper there. And he deserves a minute. So let's all sit back and enjoy the anthem. There we go. And then the very common, all the athletes standing up to pose together on that top podium position.
Aww.
Showing the community in our sport is so present. Jesse's been in Europe training the last while. He did spend some time in Innsbruck, one of the venues that Luca is often training at himself.
Innsbruck, a very common training home, training hub for out-of-town climbers.
It is one of the biggest hubs in the world for training. If you ever go there, you're almost certain to see a couple of world-class level athletes. Not to mention the next athletes that are about to step up onto our podium. But the women's final, what an interesting mix-up. Decided by many factors in the semi-finals. That timeout by Janja, having both hands on the top hold, fumbling the clip and being timed out before getting the clip in. That is an absolute heartbreaker. So difficult to say, but that is what is in the rule book. Those are the rules that we've all subscribed to. And that is exactly what's caused her a second place right now.
Yeah, the only thing, she climbed as well as she could have in the final. There was nothing else she could have done to have.
She made a top faster than Aimori.
Yep.
And so now she has to deal with that fumble in semi-finals. It's got her standing on a different step on the podium.
The second week in a row, yeah.
Here we have Chaeyoung Seo of Korea. They were all playing for first place tonight. Chaeyoung Seo had it all to go for, but just timed out. Just too secure on that last section.
Well,
needed a bit longer to rest.
I think she knew she didn't have enough energy to do the last 5 or so moves, and that's why she kept resting. But unfortunately, yeah, she rested until she timed out. I think that was unfortunate to see her time out as she was just resting.
So unfortunate. And it's the factors in the sport. You've got to play to the clock. If climbers had all day to do this climb, it would be a very different competition. Set 6 minutes. There we have Janja Gamra up in second position. And now the gold medalist, both last week in Koper, Slovenia, and tonight in Edinburgh. Aimori really showing the scene what she's got.
Fantastic, just acceleration throughout the entire climb. It started slow and finished very fast.
That is so impressive. I don't know if I've ever seen anything like that in the crux movements where it was only getting harder. She managed to speed up. So impressive. So that is it. There you see our podium positions of the lead climbing World Cup women's category tonight. All hopping up for that big hug. Big smiles from everyone. Aimori as well. This amazing position of first place, putting on such a good show tonight. So, thank you so much for joining us. I have been your commentator, Dan and Marky, and I've been joined by Olympic climber Alana Yip. Thank you so much for being here.
Of course, anytime. It was fun.
Well, hopefully you'll be hearing from us again. Thank you and good night.